Welcome back to Weekend Sunrise. When it comes to looking after our physical and mental health, many blokes can struggle to make it a priority. Compared to women, men are less likely to seek help when they're struggling and tend to report higher levels of loneliness. At some stage in their lives, 1 in 8 men will experience depression, 1 in 5 will experience anxiety.
This week is Men's Health Week, and the focus this year is on getting men to connect with one another in a casual way through grassroots community groups. And we're delighted to be joined in the studio this morning by Dr Neil Hall, who's from the Centre for Male Health at Western Sydney University, and Terry Cornick, who is the founder of community group Mr Perfect. Welcome to you both. Thanks for being with us. Neil, we'll start with you. We often hear of blokes being told to put on a brave face or man up or some of those other really unhelpful phrases. Is that how we got to this, to such a serious point with men's health?
I think that's been part of it over the years and over the generations. You know, there is this stereotype that men have been the stoic, the tough, the get through it, don't need help. But I really think that to some extent that's starting to shift generationally and regionally. But it's certainly not helped men's mental health and general health to be sort of caught in that stereotype.
So how then, guys, do we take it the step further, and that is precisely, Terry, why initiatives like yours are so vital? You know, anecdotally, I was just talking to Mon about the fact that a lot of my friends now feel a lot more comfortable talking, I think, about mental health problems, you know, even myself included. You can talk about those things, but then going and actioning it and then having the belief in the process that you can change your world a little bit by relying on the help of an expert. Those are the sorts of things that we need to move beyond just asking for help and actioning help. How do we do that?
Absolutely. So when we started Mr Perfect or when I had the first idea in 2014, men's mental health was a dirty word. Like, it was barely said. And it was a real, when men went to get help, it was in a clinical, cold environment or an approach. So what we try to do with Mr Perfect is create that softer entry point, so it's a lot more comfortable for men to first just explore what might be going on with their mental health. So basically don't do what I did, don't let it get to the crisis point, so they don't slide down this. So
what Mr Perfect does, among other things, is to do things like community barbecues and to get people together on a really grassroots level, and it's all about connection, isn't it, Neil? What would you encourage people, if they are sitting at home now, for either a man watching or for a woman who loves a man to be encouraging them, what would you say to them that they should be doing right now?
Oh, Mr Perfect is a great example of a community-led strategy, a community-led activity that promotes better health for men and boys. I think people who are at home watching, one of the simple things you can do is pick up the phone and connect with a male in your life, whether it's father, brother, son, cousin that you haven't seen for a while. And I think one of the second things that we'd probably be encouraging men to do, you know, it's Men's Health Week this week. Make this week the time when you go get your annual checkup with your GP.
Yeah.
Because some people might not quite be ready for that level of connection and openness of community that Mr Perfect offers. But what you're talking about there, that initial phone call just between a mate, you know, I think, and genuinely listening could lead to them opening their mind up to going to a community event like that, and that connection and that social cohesiveness can ultimately prove the difference. Gents, amazing what you're doing in this space. Thank you for sharing with it this morning, sharing us this morning.
And so sorry, can I just clarify, you're not saying that men should call men only, but try and connect with a man?
No,
so women can connect with a man?
Absolutely, you know,
right. It doesn't matter as long as the connection is there.
You know, men have done a fantastic job, I think, around the country in the last 10 years or so in starting to take responsibility for their own health. Mr Perfect's a great idea, men's sheds are a great idea. Lots of different organisations around the country are doing it. But it's not just men who can help.
Yeah.
Men's health is everybody. Point, it's not just men's business. Men's health is everybody's business.
Or if you feel comfortable talking to anyone in your life about what is rattling around in your mind, do it regardless of whoever's available. The important thing is the connection.
Because when you look at what men's health is at, more males have accidents, more males die at every single stage of the life course, more men take their own lives and they suffer from more lifestyle-related health conditions than females at the same age. So, you know, the situation, it's a really serious one. Thank you both for tackling it.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for telling us about it.
Cheers.
Coming